Ollie is the foundational trick to skateboarding, and after getting comfortable riding around on your board, this is going to be the first thing you want to learn. We'll be covering the simple steps on how to complete the Ollie, and how to look cool while doing it. Let's get into it. Now when you're setting up for the Ollie, you're going to want to place your front foot just a little bit behind your front bolts like you see there, and your back foot about in the middle of the tail. You're going to want to try to line your toes up with the front edge of your board. This doesn't have to be exact, but it's a good reference point. As long as you feel comfortable on the board, you should be alright. Now that you're all Dr. Scholl's on the board, we're going to be looking at the 4 basic steps to achieving this trick. First, we have the pop, slide, level, and land. So this is the first step of the trick, the pop. We're just going to be practicing slamming the tail of our board into the ground. Really just getting a feel for how the board feels under our feet once it's starting to go vertical. The next step after you get popping down is the slide. So this is where you're going to turn your ankle and drag your foot up the grip tape into that pocket that's just above the front wheels of the board. You're going to want to do that for 10 or 15 minutes. Really wear a hole in those shoes if you can. It should sound something like this. Now that you got your first 2 steps down, this is where you're going to practice putting those 2 together. You can even practice the 3rd and 4th step by just doing them all individually, keeping your board on the ground like you see here. You're going to want to pop, then slide, and you see how you're practicing leveling out that foot and then really driving those feet into the ground. That's where a lot of the Ollie is coming from, is once you're up in the air, you want to really push back down into the board, into the earth, to just get, that solid landing and keep that foot really, or keep the board really attached to your feet. At this point, I can only imagine how stoked you are to try this out for yourself. So let's run this back one more time to look at how we're going to do this and put all these steps into one fluid motion. Check out how that back foot really stomps and snaps the tail of the board against the ground, and the front foot immediately rotates and slides up the deck. This is what's going to get you your pop and level. And then it's just up to you to press back down into the board and level it out and land it. When starting out, it's recommended that you stay stationary, not rolling. This is just so you can get a feel for just the Ollie and don't have to worry about keeping the board balanced while moving. And plus, the speed is a little scary. Once you get comfortable with the stationary Ollies, then you can start doing rolling Ollies. Yes, this is where you get to start applying it and being the skater you always knew you could be. First though, you just want to start with something small, like for me it was this stripe, and just practice getting over it and getting comfortable moving while ollieing. And just remember before you run out and shut off on your own that this is something that's going to take consistency, determination, and a little bit of pain tolerance probably. The Ollie is not something you can just pick up. It's an unnatural body motion, and it takes time to put the steps together. You're going to have to commit a week, 2 weeks, a month, however long it takes you to picking this up. But if you're into skateboarding and you want to progress further, it's an absolute necessity, and you'll be so happy you did once you do.